What's up guys, in this video I wanted to go over an updated elemental build for Amara that I've been called Elemental Control. It's one of the first builds I've ever created for Amara even before the game came out. This is what I put together and it's been changed a lot now, especially with new gear coming out and stuff getting buffed and nerfed. There's a lot of different changes that has happened. Now before we get into the video, I just want to say really quick, Happy New Year's to everybody. Hope everybody has a great 2020. You guys have honestly made my 2019 amazing with all the just support that you've been giving on the channel. So close to 300 subs now at this point. It's just crazy. As I said before in my other video, one of my goals was to reach 100 subs for the end of the year, and I'm sitting at like 259 right now. So it's just crazy. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate everything you do. And to set a goal for this year, I'm gonna try to hit 1,000 subs for the end of 2020. That is definitely what I'm shooting for. So if you guys like the content that you see, you're enjoying the builds, you're learning some new things, be sure to subscribe. I know most people that watch me actually aren't subscribed to my channel. If you keep coming back and you keep enjoying the content, be sure to subscribe. Like I said, I really appreciate it. I promise I'm not gonna ask every single video, but it does help out. Again, Happy New Year's to all you guys. Thanks for being along with this journey, and here's to 2020. But anyway, getting into this build, as you probably saw in the clips already, where I just melted Grave Ward with the King's Call and the Nighthawking. Yeah, it's really good. This build is really good. It has changed so much and I absolutely love it. So starting off with the gear, obviously for our main DPS weapon, you're using King's Call. This is going to be your boss killer weapon. Now I know it has a phase slam anoint, it's 300% damage, and this build definitely is getting help with a lot of the anoints, but it can still function without the anoints. You just won't get instant 1-2 second kills on bosses. Now what makes this build so good is because all the projectiles that it shoots, when you get a critical hit, it shoots out 3 different projectiles, but if you have things like infusion and certain other perks on your shield and grenades, it actually buffs those projectiles to shoot more out, and you just do an absurd amount of damage with all the projectiles. So not only is the King's Call getting a decent damage per shot, it's also shooting out a lot of projectiles that is going on to do a lot more damage, which is getting buffed by all of your skills. So the next gun I'm using is a Nighthawk, and this is actually not the Nighthawk you saw kill Grave Ward. This is this one right here. It has a 250% phase cast anoint. This one right here is good for general mobbing. This is what I use to mob enemies really efficiently. You just straight up melt enemies with this thing. It is super good. What makes it really good is because if you switch it in burst mode, it can shoot so fast compared to if just being, you know, in full auto. So definitely if you use the Nighthawk, always put it in burst mode, as you can just shoot the gun super fast and kill things insanely quick. The next gun I'm using is the Ion Cannon. This has anoint where I get 100% more damage on action skill in. I also have a ×2 variant. This thing obviously just melts anything if you point it at it. So if your other 2 guns really can't do boss damage on some bosses, just swap to this thing and it dies. It's as simple as that. Next, I have the Sellout. I just have this equipped. You can pretty much put anything right here. If you want a Vanquisher for slide speed, EMP for movement speed, this just is right here to proc my elemental projector when I'm going against bosses. Next is the Transformer Shield, and I axe skill in, I get 50% bonus incendiary damage, which is really good. And then I have a Stormfront, which you get 50% bonus radiation damage. Again, at this point in the game, shields and stuff matter, but the anoints on them are definitely more important. So just swap these in and out to whatever you want to do. Like if you're doing any DLC items, do corrosive. You want to take down, do corrosive, just anything that you need. This is just generally what I like to use. I just like the explosion from radiation, and it has pretty much neutral benefits against shields and health bars. The only thing it's really bad against is armor. It actually does more damage to shields than TVHM, but that's just what I like to use. Incendiary is also very good when you just get the shield off, and shields won't be a problem as we get later into the skill trees. So next, I have a Phase Zerker right here. Obviously, when you pop Phase Zerker, you get max stacks, but they decay, but you can keep those stacks up if you spec right. I had 31% more critical rate, which is really good. 45% Jacob's critical hit damage. It's going to pair real with the King's Call, and 15% Vladov weapon fire rate. I'm actually not using a Vladov weapon, but I mean that would be good if I was using one. And next, I have the artifact, is the Snowdrift auto idle. So every time I get a kill, 18% of my max health is restored, and I get to slide really fast. But this artifact also gives me active skill cooldown rate and 27% ignite chance. So going into the skills, I'm going to start on Mystical Assault because this is going to be our main skill tree now. I have 3 points of fast hands to make the gameplay better, reload speed, weapon spot speed, most speed, 1 point do harm, 1 point violent tapestry, just to keep the stacks up, 5 points of alacrity to get more reload speed with the amount of stacks I have, 3 points in transcend to get my axe critical hit damage, 5 points of restless to get 25% more cooldown rate, 1 point in ascendant to buff stillness of mind, so this is gonna make All our augments do a lot more things, but Stillness of Mind is what we're going to use, and it's going to make Stillness of Mind last longer. 3 points in From Rest to get 12% more fire rate, 44% more charge speed, 3 points of Wrath to get 20% more gun damage, 20% more after I pop an action skill, and then 1 point in Avatar to get more rush stacks, and I can pop my action skill twice. Obviously, popping my action skill twice for cooldown is going to be really good because I can keep proccing my elemental damage and all my other perks in my skill tree. Alright, so next I'm going to 5 points of Anima to get more status effect damage and duration, which is really good. 5 points of Tempest to get more elemental damage, plus 20% more shock damage, which is insanely good. 5 points in Anima to make all my guns do shock damage. I'll be using the shock action skill element. I can switch to solar if I'm fighting things like Grave Ward. As general play, I'm using shock because it's really good for mobbing. That means I'm doing shock, fire, radiation, and cryo with my Nighthawking, or just whatever you want to swap in and out. I have 1 point Dread, 15% more damage when my enemy is Phase Grass, and my gun is also reloaded every time I kill a Phase Grass enemy, which is really good. 1 point Deep Well to get more magazine size for elemental weapons. 3 points Indiscriminate to make all my bullets ricochet. This is an insanely good skill. Then I have 2 points of Sustainment right here to get health back when I do elemental gun damage. Then I have 3 points of Conflicts because of the class mod, but again, this doesn't really matter for the most part, so it's just kind of whatever. So that's all the skills for this build. So if we break this all down and talk about the synergy, when you Phase Grass an enemy, it's proccing all your skills such as Wrath and Transcend, Alacrity, get the reload speed, and you're getting max stacks, which is going to get buffed by your Phase Archer, so you're getting more damage with that. You're getting the same amount of gun damage, so you can melt things instantly. Ties that bond, and Stillness of Mind is pretty much killing everything with one phase lock. Then you have Avatar to pop your phase lock again. This is also going to give you even more stacks, get more cooldown rate, even more damage, and it just keeps chaining along. And on top of that, Fist of Elements skill tree, while you're doing all this stuff, you're also buffing all your elemental damage and your ricochet and bullets, and it makes it even more insane. So the reason I'm using From Rest, I know most builds don't really use it, is because of the 12% fire rate that you get from it. So if I'm using the King's Call, I'm getting 12% more fire rate, and as you know, the King's Call did get nerfed like a while back at this point, but the 12% fire rate is gonna alleviate some of that nerf, and with all the extra projectiles you're shooting, can melt bosses. As you saw in the Grave Ward clip, it's really good. Like, it's about as good as when it first came out. Here's the hope when they don't nerf it this time. But if they do, you still have guns like the Nighthawking that can melt things, and there's a bunch of other guns that can melt things. This is just what I like to use. I have liked the Nighthawking since the game has came out. It is one of my favorite legendaries. It's just super fun to use. I love the insanely fast fire rate, just the handling and stuff you get. Dahl is definitely one of my favorite manufacturers in this game of all manufacturers, so I really enjoy the Nighthawking. But as I said before, this build has changed a lot. Before the game came out, I made this build. This was one of the first Borderlands videos on my channel, actually. It was pretty similar to what it is now, but I'm using Avatar because I feel Avatar is just better than Forceful Expression now at this point. You get way much more benefits from it, so I definitely changed that around. Also, you don't really need 5 points in Sustainment. 2 is more than enough, plus if you have something like an Auto Idol, it's definitely more than enough, and you can put those points somewhere else, and they've also buffed Alacrity by then, so Alacrity is really good now to get your reload speed, and they've also added more gear to the game that gives you more elemental damage and stuff. So this is the new build for the elemental control. It is still insanely good, if not better than what it's ever been. Even on Mayhem 4, it still shreds mobbing and bosses just with ease. But anyway, that's going to do all for me, guys. Once again, I hope you guys have a great 2020. Be sure to do what you guys want to do. Make this year be your year. If you want to achieve something, go out and do it. This is what I'm trying to do with the YouTube channel, and trust me, if I can do it, you guys can do it too. As I said before, goal for 2020 is 1,000 subs on the channel. I would really appreciate having you guys along with the rod. So if you like what you see, consider subscribing. It would really mean a lot. I know this video has been going on for a little too long, so I'm going to end it right here. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far in the video, I truly do appreciate you, and I'll see you guys in the next one.